Hey guys, just getting in a little bit of work while we talk. I'm going to make a short of the healing prayer or the healing meditation that Fiona Visser did. It's from page something or another of Gary Renard. Um, we are patiently, somewhat anxiously, awaiting Gary Renard to come up and have a talk with us on our live stream sometime soon. He's got a new book coming out. This will be his fifth, I believe. Hey, Toy Pups, how are you? So Fiona did a little healing meditation. Um, hey, shorts have to be under 3 minutes, right? Hey, Lee. Lee, I'm okay. I'm doing a little bit better. Still have an injured foot, and walking is difficult. You know what I found out this morning? I was telling Kat, walking is difficult, but running is less difficult. So I did my run walk this morning. It's every 5 minute block. I would throw in anywhere from 30 seconds. Towards the end, I was doing a minute. Um, It acted as a sort of a massage for my hurt foot. Go figure. There's always a way. There's absolutely always something to do. You can find something to do. Hey, Lady Sky, you can find some way to work through whatever issues. Hey, Toy Pops, I have a technical question. Is 2 minutes and 59 seconds still considered a short? Or have I edged over? I know it's like 3 minutes, right? But 2:59. Have I edged over? I can't think of anything to cut out of this short. All right, I found something. 2 minutes and 58 seconds. That's a short, right? 23 days until St. Patrick's Day, Yogi. And then we're going to celebrate. How are we going to celebrate? I don't know. We're going to drink green something. It's not going to be beer for me. Um, hey, Marley. How are you, my friend? Toy Pups is listening. What's new, Marlon? Lisa's Lady Sky, have you been doing any Sunday bacon? How was church today? What was the sermon? Song of hand, my friend. How are you? What's new with you? It's been a bit. Hey, Shelly. This guy says, happiness that God loves me and everyone, Lilo. Nice. I like that. This guy says, hi to Songahan. Everyone's saying hi. Songahan says, I'm good, Yogi. How are you? I'm pretty good, Songahan. Hey, Michael. Michael says, say to Yogi, I can't say I'm about to be going live, but I wanted to hop in and say hello to you before. Click that like button for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Michael, drop a link so that people who might want to swing on over, maybe stay, can go over and hang out with you. Songahan says, I'm just more into gaming than YouTube nowadays. Gotcha. I can understand that. Everything in its time, right? I appreciate you stopping in, though. Shelly, how are you? Shelly, you were just live, weren't you? He says, this guy, I'm sure he'd be rather disappointed in me, but I agree he does love us all. But Lee, what makes you think that God would be disappointed in you? A God who doesn't judge, a God who sees no distinction, who only sees you in the true light of the love in which he created you. How could God ever possibly be disappointed in you? That God doesn't see you as an ego. He doesn't see you as the coming and the going. He doesn't see you as um, uh, the judgments the ego has placed upon you. He only sees you in the pure light of love. We can also switch that to she, to Tao, consciousness, Krishna consciousness, whatever resonates the most. That should fill you with pure joy, knowing that the only judgment you have is your own self-judgment. Why should that fill you with joy? Because who you are, created by God, has never changed. Not even a little bit, from the pure innocence of which you were born and created. Now here's the onus. We have to remember to see each other in that same light in which we were created. Everyone, no exceptions. No exceptions. Those who trigger us just a little, those who trigger us a lot, and those we really, really despise. That takes a bit of work. He says, Yogi, have you seen Adam last couple of days? I haven't. He sent me a text 1 or 2 days ago. Hey, Anna. Let's see. Marla says, I'm just getting back to training. I thought you were taking like 2 weeks off. Also got some personal stuff, being as good of a caregiver supporter for those closest to me as I can. Include yourself. Include yourself in that caregiving, Marlon. You are only as capable of a caregiver as you are able to care for yourself. Trust me on this. As a long-term caregiver, many, many years, well over a decade. Lady Sky says, I've learned today at church, a good church member passed away last week, Yogi. She was 83 years old. She will be missed. Prayers, Lady Sky. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for the church's loss. Lady Sky says, God forgives us in our mistakes, Lulu, and doesn't even recognize our mistakes. He says, he's a good guy, Yogi. I hope he knows his value here. I believe he does. Oh, I was going to look something up, and I'll post it. Anna, how are you doing today? Anna, I owe you some Emily Dickinson. Do you have a particular particular poem that you'd like me to read from Emily Dickinson? One second, guys. Sorry. Hey, Princess, how are you? Welcome in, my friend. Anna says, I'm doing good. Thank you, Yogi. How are you this afternoon? I'm doing pretty good. Marlon had said not quite 2 weeks, 1 week and a couple of days. Now back to it with 4 kilograms less body weight. So bulk till then, I'm start doing some active and outside in 2 or 3 months. I'll do another cut down to about 10%. Interesting. He says, Yogi, we should never underestimate the value of just showing up. I agree. I agree. If we could do that for each other, it's pretty incredible. But you know what? Hey, Lee, what about doing it for ourselves? How often do you show up for yourself? Meaning, we were talking to Marlon about caregiving, and I know that you are a caregiver for your kids, but are you giving yourself the same care? What are you doing to cultivate? What are you doing to cultivate good health, mental, emotional, spiritual, as well as well, I guess that covers it all, doesn't it? I believe it does. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, just wanted to check and see who was beeping me. So I wanted to read a little bit before we get into Emily Dickinson. Let me check in real quick. All right, I'm definitely going to read some Emily Dickinson. He says, oops, I read that. How does the Course of Miracles refer or analyze the past? And how does it advise us to move on? The Course of Miracles says there is no past. The one holy true thing that one can say about the past is that it's not here. Doesn't even concern ourselves with the past. Every bit of healing takes place in the present moment. Every bit of healing takes place in the present moment. So why revisit the past? There's always arguments. Well, we got this, we got to do that, we got to go to the past in order. You can't go to the past. You can only have a thought about the past, and the thought about the past is not the past. It's not even a correct perception. It's not even a correct remembrance of the past. It has gone through so many cycles within, it doesn't even resemble, although we think it does, and we will argue and argue and argue. But neuroscience has shown that the process of something happening, our remembering of what happened, and then the continuous effect of remembering and remembering through the course of years doesn't even resemble what actually happened. What actually happened isn't what we thought it was the moment it happened. It was only an interpretation. An interpretation is seen through the filters of which we can perceive anything. In yoga, again, yoga and Buddhism, it's called the 5 kleshas. We see things through our attachments and our attraction. We see things through the level and the lens of that which we are attracted to, the things that we had liked. We see things through the lens of our aversions, that which we don't like. And we see it all through all of these, all at once, filtering things out. We see things through the belief that we are an ego, the belief that we are a thought belief construct. We see things through the lens of the fear that if we are this little self, this ego itself, then we're going to die, that we have a term limit, that we are finite beings in an infinite universe, alone and afraid. And finally, we see things through the veil, through the lens of ignorance. We don't know who we truly are. And we don't even realize that we are seeing everything through this perceptory. Perceptory? Did I just make that word out? If I did, it's a really good word. We're seeing our perceptions. We're seeing our interpretation. So why tie ourselves to that? when you have this moment. Before the next live stream, I'm going to trim my mustache. That's a promise. I'm looking in the camera in all sincerity. I'm looking you right in the eye, whoever it is who's concerned. And I'm saying, before the next live stream, I value you. I promise you, I will trim my mustache. Hey, Adam. Adam, you were just talked about. Lee says, Anna says, every bit of healing takes place in the present moment. Yes. I love that. Yogi, I'm going to start living again. Lee, you deserve to start living again. Lee, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to know what a truly, truly good person you are. You need to free yourself of the misperception that you've done shit. Whatever. That you've done anything. That you've done things wrong and you need to pay for it before you can start living again. That you've done this or you did that, or if only people only knew who you were. Screw all that, man. Be happy. Make mistakes. Let me go real quick to what I wanted to read, and then we're going to dive back in. Lee, this is for you. Do not be concerned about how you can learn a lesson so completely different from anything that you have taught yourself before. How would you know? Your part, Lee, your part is very simple. You need only recognize that everything you've learned, you do not want. Everything you've learned up to this point in your life, you do not want. It has never made you happy. It has never given you peace. It has never filled you with true joy. Ask to be taught. Ask the Holy Spirit. Ask God. Ask the universe. Ask the Tao. Ask 1,000 angels whispering in your ear right now. Ask to be taught. And do not use your experiences, because your experiences are wrong. They're only what you think. What you think happened. That's a double think. It's only what you think you think. When your peace is threatened or disturbed in any way, say to yourself, I do not know what anything, including this, whatever it is, I do not know what anything, including this, means. And so I do not know how to respond to it. And I will not use my past learning as a light to guide me now. Your past learning was wrong. Has it led you to a place of true peace? Has it led you to God? Has it led you to joy? Has it led you to liberation? If it hasn't, you've learned the wrong lesson. Don't worry about it. Me too. All right. Did I see Lady Sky wanted to ring the bell? Hey, Marlon. Himansha. Am I getting your name right at all? Hey, Joe. We're going to ring the bell. Lady Sky, can we ring the bell for prayers for my church member that passed away to her family as we're grieving for the loss of loved one, Yogi? Yes. Marlon, can you turn your volume down? Marlon, give me a thumbs up when your volume is down. Hey, Abigail. Abigail says, hi, my name is LeBron James. Hey, LeBron James. I've heard good things about you. Call me Himmy if it's easy. It is definitely easier. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Dolly. Dolly, thank you for that, my friend. Marlon, are you still here? So I posted part of that up above, Lee. Let me know what you think. All right, I'm going to ring the bell. I have not heard from Marlon, so I'm assuming he popped out. Just 3 rings. This is for Lady Sky's fellow church member, passed away, and this is for the entire church who are missing her. Here we go. First, Lady Sky. Thank you, Marlon. One of my favorite doctors was a Gupta pediatrician. He says, "Sir, last night was so good with the musical enlightenment. I'm glad you liked it. We always have fun when we sing. If you can't sing well, have fun doing it. That's my motto as as of now." You're welcome, Dolly. You're welcome, my friend. Adam says, "Sweet Dolly. Hey, Tiger King, Tiger King, how's your grandfather?" Tiger King says, "Read all the message, please. Any update on the guests that you said I might like?" No update yet. And the last thing is, Eric, when are you going to sing the song for Lady Sky? Because it's about time that you should up and do it. Lady Sky says there's no hurry. She gave me a bit of grace. Thank you, Anna. I'm listening to it every day. So when it becomes an actual song for me. Lee says, I miss the musical enlightenment. Gupta. I'm not so sure I'd say enlightenment, but I'm not so sure I'd say musical on my end. But Lady Sky sang the entire 49 minutes of American Pie. Didn't even take a break. She just stepped right up and began singing. And an hour and 17 minutes later, the song was over. I'm sorry, an hour and 17 minutes, the first verse was over. Then didn't take a break at all. She shook everything out, shook her hands out, cleared her throat, dove back in. Another 3 hours later, 3 hours and 4 seconds, 3 hours, 4 minutes, and 17 seconds later, the second verse complete. We weren't done yet. Lady Sky is nothing if not a singing prodigy. There was no giving up. There was no giving up for Lady Sky. He says, Yogi, I like the New York City song you do. Me too. I haven't done that for a while. I sang 2 songs for Kat last night. I don't trust songs that get stuck in one's head. That's the only way I can sing it, though. I gotta know the song. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm just reading words. That's not. It's like I'm not even singing. I'm just sort of saying the words, and it was a bet, right? And I lost the bet. However, if I'm going to sing with Lady Sky, I want to be able to do justice to singing Lady Sky. Doesn't mean I have to be like great at it, but I at least want to make an honest attempt to sound as good as possible for the person that I'm singing with. Amy says, I joined in last night, Lady Sky. Didn't know it was that long. She, as far as I know, Lady Sky is still singing American Pie right now at this moment. Kat says, Yogi, I'm thinking it's Monday. It's no one in town listening while driving. Oh, is the store even open, Kat? Has anyone here done scream therapy? No, but I've screamed. And you ever heard, hey, Adam, you ever heard John Lennon sing Mother? This is when when he sang Cold Turkey, he was going through primal scream therapy. Mother is a deeply, deeply powerful song with the screaming. Timmy says, Seb, music is something close to my heart, but I left that 12 years ago. It did say, take a lot of courage and big heart to sing in front of everyone. Wait a minute. There were people here last night? Falcon, how are you doing, my friend? He says, Tiger King, I'll come up and do it. Get shy sometimes. Hey, Lee, Tiger King had a good point. If you want, just send it to me. Read it, and then I'll play it. I'll play the thank you, Dolly. And I'll play the recording of you doing it on my live stream. Let's see. Focus says it's a violation of one's free will. Shows you the limits of free will. If free will can be violated, one, is it true? Is it real? And is it free? If you cannot pick otherwise, it can't be free will, can it? Tiger King says, don't have to show face then. Tiger King, how's your grandfather? Be careful driving, cat. Thank you again, Dolly. Adam says, Scream Therapy was a 80s thing. Primal Scream actually started way back in the 70s, maybe even the 60s. Primal Scream Therapy? Don't think there's a John Lennon song I haven't heard. Have you heard Beef Jerky? It's not a good song. His song Mother, again, it's a deeply powerful song. Hey, Mina. Mina, it's nice to see you. Tiger King says to Lee, do a voice clip, send it to Eric, and he will read it. We'll do that. Yep, I will do that. Hema says, next time, count me in for singing also. I love the stream about breathing a couple of days ago. Thank you. We do all that. We used to do it every Friday and or Saturday. Now it's more of a spontaneous. Hey, Sniper. But you never know. If anyone wanted to come up and sing, we could do something today. Yesterday when I sang, I could tell I was really out of practice singing. Songs that I'm never good, but songs that at least I don't offend myself, I found offensive as I was singing them. And it says, I've had a good day. Thank you, Tiger King. How are you? Tiger King says, not very good. Derek, not very good. Thank you for asking. Not very good. Can't go down at the hospital. He's just placed on lockdown because of the virus. That's tough, my friend. Hey, Mustafa. I'm feeling better today. I mentioned earlier. My walking was so painful this morning. I was going to cut it short, and I decided to throw in a little bit running so I could get back home sooner. So much pain I was in. My hurt foot was throwing off my gait so bad. It was affecting my shins. It was affecting my right calf. It was affecting my back. Everything. One little thing. And as I started running, I felt better. I realized I can run. I can't walk very well, but I can run. It's weird because I started walking more when running hurt. Now it's the other way around. So I use it as sort of full body massage. And I would run for about 30 seconds. I would walk for about 4.5 minutes. And then I started increasing the running, kept walking steadily. I started feeling better and better. Even my walking started feeling better. End of the walk, I was feeling pretty good. Hey, Joshua. Sorry to hear about your issues. Man, do I got issues, Joshua. I'm up to here with issues. The whole of the hospital has been placed on lockdown because he's a big virus going around. No visitors are allowed, Eric, apart from stuff. Oh, all right, guys. Give me 1 second. Hey Hema, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite poet? Do you have a favorite poem? I'll be right in, guys. We got something to do real quick. I think Emily Dickinson might have been enlightened. This is called the heart asks for pleasure first. The heart asks for pleasure first, and then excuse from pain. And then there's little anodynes that deaden suffering. And then to go to sleep. And then, if it should be, the will of his inquistador, the privilege to die. This might be one of her most famous poems here. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without the words and never stops at all. The sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that keeps so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Her other most famous probably is Because I Could Not Stop for Death. But this is my favorite, one of my favorites. This is what makes me think that she was enlightened. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd advertise, you know. How dreary to be somebody, a public, like a frog. To tell one's name, the livelong June, to admiring bog. Who's got a favorite poem by anyone? Preferably something short and something that I can read. Who did I miss? Anyone? Joshua, how's your day been? I saw a YouTube short of Joshua seeming to get very intimate with a container of mustard. You might be asking me, no, you didn't really see that? Seriously? And I would say, hey, go over to Joshua's page and check it out for yourself. I don't make this stuff up. Jason made a peach cobbler. Is this cake or drink? Mustafa says, Eric, where is Toy Pups? Didn't see her. She was all the way up top. She was in the background listening. You're welcome, Anna. I'm always happy to read for you. Sub says, Mustafa, type her name 3 times. She may appear like magic. Or we could try saying it. Toy pups, toy pups, toy pups. We got an open mic here, toy pups. Come up and sing a song, and I'll sing one after you. There we go. Mustafa gives it a try. Adam says, how about some Pell, Yogi? He was maybe enlightened as well. Maybe. Hey, I was at Poe's home in Baltimore. Halloween. Don't know how old it was. Maybe 10? Spooky. It was spooky. Of course, everyone knows his most famous poem, right? The Raven, which is why we have the Baltimore Ravens. Edgar Allan Poe was born in Baltimore, as was Frank Zappa. Coincidence, you may ask? Probably. All right. Dreamland. This is Edgar Allan Poe. This is for Adam. By a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where an Edion named Night on a black throne reigns upright. I have reached these lands but newly, from an untimely, dim Thule, from a wild, weird clime that leeth sublime, out of space, out of time. Bottomless vales and boundless floods, and chasms and caves and titan woods, with forms that no man can discover, for the tears that drip all over. Mountains toppling evermore into seas without a shore. Seas that restlessly aspire, surging onto skies of fire. Lakes that endlessly outspread, their lone waters lone and dead. Their still waters still and chilly, with the snow of the lolling lily. By the lakes that thus outspread, their lone waters lone and dead, their sad waters sad and chilly, with the snows of the lolling lily. By the mountains near the river, murmuring slowly, murmuring ever. By the grey woods, by the swamp, where the toad and the newt encamp. By the dismal tarns and pools, where dwells the ghouls. By each spot, the most unholy, in the nook most melancholy. There the traveller meets aghast, sheeted memories of the past, shrouded forms that start and sigh, and they path the wanderer by. White-robed forms of friends long given, in agony to the earth and heaven. For the heart whose woes are legion, to his peaceful, soothing region. For the spirit that walks in shadows, it is El Dorado. But the traveler, traveling through it, may not dare not openly view it. Never its mysteries are exposed to the weak human eyes unclosed. So wills its kings who hath forbid the uplifting fridge of lid. And thus the sad soul that here passes, behold it but through darkened glasses. By a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where Eden named Night on a black throne reigns upright. I have wandered home but newly from this ultimate dim Thule. I have no idea what that means. Maybe it says childhood poems from. Give me, where did that go? I do not know that. You've only heard it 1,000 times, so you're saying 1,001? The Raven. And then him, take a look at your poem. Man, you picked a long one, Adam. I don't think I've read this in ages, probably since school. Once upon a midnight dreary, I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, neatly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was the bleak December, and each separating dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books a trace of sorrow for the losing Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden who the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to be still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating there no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scare was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. And the only word there spoken was a whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back, and the word "Lenore" meekly, merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely this is not something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter when, and many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped the saintly raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obseance made he, nor a minute stopped or stayed he, but when mind of lord or lady perched upon my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above the chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Through thy crest be shorn and shaven thou," I said, "art thou, sure no raven." Ghastly grim, an ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me thy lordly name is the night Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly. Through its answered little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friend have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster to his song one burden bore, till the digress of his hope and that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling on my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy onto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged, this I sat in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my heart at ease reclining, on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall pass, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grows denser, perfume from unseen center, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee. By these angels he has sent thee, for spite and respite, and Neptune from the memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind of Neptune, and forget this lore, this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil. Whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, evil thing, prophet still, if bird or devil. By the heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Adian, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be thee ward our signs of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back from the tempest and the night's subterranean shore. Leave no plume as a token of that lie thou soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quiet the bust, my door. Take thy beak from my heart, and take thy form from off my door, quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still sitting, on the palace bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and a lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. That was about 2 days longer than Lady Sky singing. I think I set the record. The longest thing ever read on any of my live streams. Zephyr says, sacrifice Odin, travel to Jeremy to drink from, man, I can't pronounce any of this. The well's guardian Mimir demanded a high price for a single drink, one of Odin's eyes. Odin plucked it out and cast it upon the water, forever trading physical sight for the second sight required to delay Ragnarok. Hey, Sherry. I'm exhausted from reading The Raven. Hey, Stats. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Hemi, are you still here? This is in English. Often to pass the time on board, the crew will catch an albatross, one of those big birds, which nonchalantly chaperone a ship across the bitter phantom of the sea. Tied to the deck, this sovereign of space, as if embarrassed by its clumsiness, pitifully lets its great white wings drag as it slides like a pair of unshipped oars. How weak and awkward, even comical, this traveler but lately so adroit. One deckhand sticks a pipe stream in its beak, another mocks the cribble that once flew. The poet is like this monarch of the clouds, riding the storms above the marksman range. Exiled on the grounds, hooted and jeered, he cannot walk because of his great wings. Boy, did that make me feel lonely. Hey, man, that was for you, my friend. Zipper says North mythology. Falcon says, I'm not your blowing wind, I'm the lightning. I'm not your autumn moon, I am the night. I'm Batman. You're welcome, Hemi. You are welcome, my friend. There's plenty of poetry and modern music. Yep, Bob Dylan. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Pick a page. Hey, Praveen, my friend, how are you? It's nice to see you. Sure. Says Squirrel, did you did the right poetry here off the top of your head? Help many comments. It sounds better when Chris sings it. I don't know if I call Bob Dylan modern. People say Jesse Wells is the next Bob Dylan, but he is Jesse Wells. I could see the comparison to Bob Dylan in the early years when Bob Dylan was actually, more folk. I don't think he ever left folk. He just modernized it. He did his own thing. He was Bob Dylan. So pick a page from page 1 to page 85. Why didn't I just say page 1? Or I could read the introduction too. Page 82. There are so many little things that speak to you and me of God. Daily interactions of little consequences, or so it seems. Yet there is a thread that weaves these singular events into a grand tapestry of wonder. Be a witness unto your life. Catch the thread and write it into mystery's web. And watch the hand that holds the needle. There's such wisdom found within, the shortest of its actions. Watch the weaver's hand, a story told with deftness, facing me to you. He says, I tried poetry, I tried writing some for a girl. She just laughed. She just did not understand, my friend. I wrote many, many, many poems in here to a girl I had not met yet. I did not know I was going to meet her. Except it says, me to you, the only space there. All right, guys, give me one more page. This is page 82. You didn't ask for it, but here it comes anyway. It's called As Ash. I have surrendered to your fire and burnt. I come alive as nothing more than ash. And scattered by some holy wind, I now reach every part of you. So if it says I called Jimmy Page to the stand. Adam is singing the Rolling Stones. Salute, Praveen. Let's see. Within you, without you. We were talking about the space between us all and the people who hide themselves behind a wall of illusion. Never glimpse the truth. Then it is far too late when they pass away. We were talking about the love we all could share, where we find when we find it, to try our best to hold it there with our love. With our love, we could save the world if they only knew. Try to realize it is all within yourself. No one else can make you change. And to see you really only small, and life flows on within you, and you without you. We were talking about the love that's gone so cold, and the people who gain the world and lose their soul. They don't know, they can't see. Are you one of them? When you see beyond yourself, when you see beyond yourself, then you may find peace of mind is waiting there. And the time will come when you see you are one and life flows on within you and without you. This just came up. The Beatles' darkest songs. Some of the ones that are listed: Eleanor Rigby, Isolation, Death, Run for Your Life, Domestic Threat, Your Blues, Self Loathing, A Day in the Life, Death and Detachment. She said. I love that song, She Said. While my guitar gently weeps, spiritual blindness, and even earlier tracks like I'm a Loser for their raw emotion. You know, She Said was inspired by Peter Fonda, who was on plant medicine, sitting in a bathtub, repeating over and over. He accidentally shot himself when he was a kid, um, and his mother um, ended her life. So he was very sad person. And he kept saying at a party when the Beatles were there, "I know what it's like to be dead." And John Lennon gave some sarcastic remark, as John Lennon often did. But he remembered, "I know what it's like to be dead." And he wrote that. She said, she said. So, guys, we'll wrap it up in just a minute. Thank you, Paveen. Hey, right back. All drags me here. AI. AI. Yeah, most people come here because they're dragged in. Focus says, "Soak the flames of my heart, eclipse memories, and shadows dance across the void." Sniper says, "Always a pleasure, Praveen. Uh, wish, uh, wish all well. Your end." Adam says, "Lead the good and the bad." All right, guys, let me wrap it up. I'll be back at 5:25. Hey, it's Sunday. We have a guest tomorrow, but we don't have any guests tonight. Who knows? Maybe we will sing again if anyone wants to. Let me know. Let me know what you want to do, guys. I will see everyone later. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Much, much appreciated. Um, thank you for those floating jewels. Hey, Wheats, you too, my friend. All right, see you. Thank you, Anna. Thanks, Falcon.